Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Vanda, founder of the Period Makeover Solution and Fertility Maximizer. And today, in this episode, I wanted to talk about 5 simple steps that you can take to improve your fertility health. So, we're going to dive into these. And before we dive into them, I think sometimes, especially when we are on any type of health journey, really, we want to find an answer. We want a solution, and we are sometimes looking for things that are maybe a little more complicated or finessed as our answer. These 5 steps that I'm going to go over today are simple things. They are things that I would consider to be kind of low hanging fruit. And in coming episodes, we are going to get into things that are a bit more complicated and detailed when it comes to fertility and optimizing your fertility and when to use when you're on your journey trying to conceive. But I needed to address these things first because if we overlook the low-hanging fruit, then we are missing big opportunities to really make a difference in some of our day-to-day habits that we are doing and continuing to do that, even though they may seem like small things, really have the biggest impact on our hormones and our fertility overall. So, the number one thing that I would tell you if you are working on your fertility, you are in the season of either currently trying to conceive or you are getting ready to be in a season of trying to conceive, you have got to learn your cycle. You have got to know what is normal for your body and what signs you exhibit around the time of ovulation. So, I do have a couple of past podcast episodes that I would encourage you to listen to where I go more in depth on this topic. That's going to be episode 87 and episode 91. But to just kind of give you the basics, the first step is going to be getting yourself off birth control. And I really encourage you to do this 3 to 6 months longer, if possible, ahead of when you're going to try to conceive, to give your body time to re-regulate your hormones, to reestablish that communication between your ovaries and your brain. And that also gives you some cycles where you're not trying to actively get pregnant, but you're just allowing yourself to learn what's normal for you. It may have been years since you have had a non-medicated cycle where you have not been on birth control or had something that was influencing your hormones. You may not have a clue what is normal for your body. I just kind of as an example for you, when women are on the birth control pill, they have a 28-day cycle. I come off birth control. I've been off birth control for, almost 9 years, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been almost 9 years or will be 9 years in January. Anyway, I don't have a 28-day cycle. I probably never had a 28-day cycle. I'll probably never will have a 28-day cycle because that's just not what's normal for me. What's normal for me is more like a 32 to 35-day cycle. And it's important for me to know that because that impacts when I ovulate. Not everyone ovulates on day 14 of their cycle. If you don't learn what is normal for you and when your ovulation is, you're not going to know your fertile window and you are going to be not timing intercourse appropriately to successfully get pregnant. So, step number 1, tip number 1, know your cycle. Number 2, clean up your environment. And when I say your environment, I am talking about things like your products, household cleaners, the makeup that you use. Are you using a lot of plastic? Are you heating foods up in plastic frequently? Have you switched out things like your deodorant? Are your makeup products clean? Are your household cleaners a more non-toxic option? I always kind of meet some resistance when I cover this topic because it's an undertaking to clean up your environment. And my personal approach to this and the approach that I teach to my clients is to replace things as you run out of them. I don't want you to overhaul your entire household in a weekend. That is going to be really taxing on your nervous system and on your wallet. So just know next time that your laundry detergent's getting low, think, I need to investigate this a little further and see, is there a less toxic product that I can use in my home that I want to switch this out and give it a try? Same thing goes with all your other products. You can also, do this with your food. You can look up something I share with my clients every year, the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list. This will kind of help guide you. I don't buy all organic produce in my home. I do kind of try to pay attention to the Dirty Dozen list and maybe get organic of those items. The Clean 15 are the ones that, they have the least amount of like pesticides and things. So, that's another simple way that you can start to reduce some of your toxin exposure. Also, just trying to eat more fresh vegetables, like less processed foods. And then, this time of year, we're heading right into spring and summer. It's gardening season. So even if you don't have a green thumb, you don't want to garden, no problem, but hit up your local farmer's market on Saturday mornings and get some of your veggies and your fruit there when possible. All of that stuff adds up over time and really helps. Now, we're going to roll into step number 3, piggybacking right off of that, and talk about how you are eating. So we really want to be putting our meals together in a way that supports blood sugar balance. You guys have heard me talk about this in the past. I did a podcast episode kind of dedicated to it and making sure that you're consuming enough fuel. That was episode 93. If you didn't listen to that, go back to that one and take a listen. But basically, when you look down at your meals, I want you to be able to identify, yes, I have protein on this plate. Yes, I have fiber on this plate. Yes, I have fat on this plate. And yes, I've got some carbs on this plate. If you don't have one of those components, I want you to get back up from the table and go find something that you can add to that plate to help balance that out. When we have all of those components on our plate, our blood sugar response is going to be more balanced following that meal. Another little just quick tidbit that I will give is that if you will commit to getting up after your meals and moving around for about 10 minutes, going for a short walk, maybe just doing some squats where you're at, movement after meals helps that those carbs that you have just consumed immediately have a job to do and don't just like hang out and linger in your bloodstream, raising your blood sugar. Step number 4, prioritize your sleep. Everybody always rolls their eyes at me when I say this, but this is so important. I know that we are all living super busy lives. We have a lot to do. Let's be honest, we all want to spend a little time at the end of the day just scrolling on our phone, either to catch up with people we don't get to see in real life anymore, or just to kind of zone out. I think we're all a little guilty of the mindless scroll. I'm guilty of that. I did it last night. Scrolled for probably 30 minutes when I really needed to roll over and just go to sleep. We have to be conscious of those things. And when I say that you want to prioritize your sleep, I am speaking to the amount of sleep you get. So we want you to be having 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But I also want you to think about the quality of sleep that you're getting. Do you wake up feeling rested? Are you sleeping through the night? Are you waking up for some reason? Do you snore? Does your partner snore and it's interrupting your sleep? What things could you do to make your current sleep environment better? Do you need to adjust the temperature? Do you need to buy different sheets? Do you need to force your husband to go get a CPAP test? A sleep apnea test to get a CPAP. Do you need to go get a sleep study and see if you need a CPAP? People are so fearful of that, and they really shouldn't be, because I've seen CPAPs work wonders for people and marriages as well. So step number 4, prioritize your sleep. Last step number 5, move your body. This is not just like, there's so many benefits to exercise, right? Primarily when we think about exercise, unfortunately, we have this association with weight loss, and it doesn't have to be about the weight loss. Like, we are getting so many benefits from just moving our body and getting in some exercise. I'm not even encouraging you to do any type of intense exercise. Actually, if you are like new to exercising or new to getting back into an exercise routine, I don't want you to do anything strenuous, because then that would put an additional stressor on your body. I want you mainly to just get a 30-minute walk in every day, ideally outside. But if it can't be outside, that's okay. But when it can be, get outdoors and do it. Um, that movement helps regulate our blood sugar. It helps decrease inflammation. It helps our lymph system. It helps our fascia. It helps all of these different things that then in turn have this trickle down effect on other things that impact our fertility. Um, it also will help, if you're someone that does need to lose weight because you are overweight or you're obese, it will also help with that as well. But it's not the only reason that we're doing it. I don't want someone to like hear this and think, oh, well, I don't need to lose any weight, so I don't need to exercise. So many benefits to movement and exercise, and walking is the number one way I would recommend for you to get that in. So to recap quickly, our 5 steps. Number 1, know your cycle. Number 2, clean up your environment. Number 3, eat for blood sugar balance. Number 4, prioritize your sleep. And number 5, move your body daily. I hope that these tips have been helpful. I just recently put out a fertility specific resource. It's called Minerals for Fertility. You can download it. It's free. I will put the link in the show notes. I will make sure that it is there for you. I am also going to be starting a new group, a Fertility Maximizer, on April the 13th. So we are still, several days away from that. If you are someone that is currently trying to conceive, or you're about to approach that stage in your life, consider joining this group so that you can get your body ready. It includes HTMA testing. It includes an at-home hormone tracking device where we can confirm for sure that ovulation is occurring, and you will know exactly when your fertile window is. That is like the most important thing when it comes to trying to conceive. You've got to know that information in order for your conception to be successful. So details on all of that, links, things will be in the show notes. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk with you next week.